And once again, we are back with the B League. As we saw in the previous part, Minty takes over the dominating lead that Acidity had on the first two events. Meanwhile, in the bottom 5, it's still pretty tight here, but Soundwave, Rustic Copper, Crimson Light, Orangey, and Wolfer do make up that placement. And as we see, the 5th event for this B division, Balancing. I'm sure we're all familiar of this event. The goal is to make it across the beam as far as you can. We'll see how the B League contenders will manage to conduct their performance in this event. We're starting from the results from the last event, so that means Minty goes first. Can they replicate the success they've been getting? And it doesn't seem that much from the A-League, but it is a decent 208. We'll see if that will hold up for the rest of the runs. They are the first run indeed, so they are setting that benchmark. Panda, who got silver last event, is now in running. 2 fall off early and another one, and I think that's one of them in those 70s, the final one, yes indeed. It will only amount to a 158. That's quite a few off of Minty earlier. I think that's a bit maybe 51, but here comes Acidity for the 3rd run. One falls off early, then another one, where it looks like even more earlier and less sparse, but it will be above Panda's result. They get a 173. Magma up next. And the gate opens. How much can they fare here? One falls off early, but 2 of them are managing to go a bit farther. Will that beat Minty? They do get one finisher. And yes indeed, by quite a decent margin as well. 272, but it doesn't beat that 300 that we did see in the A-League. Rainbow now for the 5th run. Can they replicate anything meaningful for a good result? Not really. All of them fall off pretty early there, below 60, but that's still not last. You get a 167 with 250 row finishes, falls and Sakura now for the 6th run. Can they do anything here? A few of them already falling off early, and it's pretty similar to what Rainbow has done. And it does seem that they are gonna take provisional dead last. 19 and 25 don't really help them, and only a highest finish of 51. Crimson Light is up next. All of them do seem to veer quite to the top side, that's their left. I don't know if that's some sort of defect, but it does mean that everyone is gonna have to have that problem. So it's still equal game. Meanwhile, Crimson Light gets a 140, not a result you wanna have. Icicle now for the 8th run. Few of them starting early, but that's even worse. They just turned there. They really lost their balance. They looked like they were going well in the middle, but it didn't really work. That's a 128. And I think that is last so far. Rose Red for the 9th run. Starting the 2nd half of the B League people. Marbles, I guess. Ooh, one of them collides with that one marble, and it helps them go through the middle and have a finisher. The question is, those marbles the rest of them did not really perform well. Only leads them to 219. Still 2nd place, but still a lot more to decide to be potentialized. Rustic Copper now. And it's really, all of them are falling pretty early. Maybe in those, yeah, 16 for the earliest, 49 for the latest, and I think that's a 122. Not good whatsoever. Clear blue now. Can they be different from the others? Can they make a really good finish? And oh, 3 of them, that was near the 20s only. That is not good whatsoever. 113, a 60 point from the final marble does not save that much. They needed to go farther just to balance it out slightly and still have somewhat of a competition between the others. Bronze Age for the 12th run, ending the 3rd quarter of marbles, running the balancing. Oh, this is looking pretty good. But 2 of them, oh, they do go pretty far compared to the others, and they do get a 250. The earliest marble was a 29, and then a 58, and then a 79.84. Actually adds up to a decent total. Jade Dweller for the 13th run, and ooh, definitely going off early, but one of them does make it. I think that's past 80 or 90. 80 indeed, but that's a 188. Still pretty in the top half compared to what we see from these marbles earlier. Wolfer now for the 14th run. And looking pretty good so far, but no, they all fall near the same range there. I think that's above 50 though, and this is a 227 will definitely be slightly better than what we've seen in the past. So 13 runs now for the penultimate run with Orangey. One of them go off early, 2 of them, but 2 stay in the middle and finish. And that's definitely gonna be a great run, at least compared to the contenders we see. Yes, that's the first marble to make it above 300. Gives them the lead and a guaranteed medal. Can Soundwave do anything? Can they take it away from Orangey? No, not really. But one of them do make it pretty far, but it's not gonna do much. 191. That's still decent compared, as I say, to the other marbles that really didn't perform. And yeah, it gives them 7. But Orangey, Magma, and Bronze Age do take up the top 3 spots. Forward balancing. Clear Blue dead last with a 113, Rustic Copper with a 122, so on and so forth. Orangey now stepping into another podium, and this time it's gold. Magma in 2nd, Bronze Age in 3rd. And what does this do? Orangey goes up to 8th, Bronze Age up to 3rd, Magma up to 4th. Minty and Acidity do keep their pretty dominant lead above the rest, but still around the same margin to each other, with Minty still holding somewhat of a, I think that's 11 points. We'll descend now for the next event, the second event of this part. As we see, we do see the same track we used in the Group A, in the A-League, my bad. And for heat number 1, Soundwave, Bronze Age, Panda, and Rustic Copper to start things off. Top 2 advance as always. And it looks like, I think that's Bronze Age and Soundwave going through early, with Rustic Copper trying to make a move. Now it's neck and neck between those 3. And Panda starts to lag behind, and it's really close. Who gets it? True that. And it's Soundwave and Rustic Copper with a slight margin above everyone else. But indeed, that was a pretty close last wheel. Anything can happen, really. That's what you can see. Heat number 2, Acidity, Sakura, Wolfer, and Rainbow, I think. That is the roster for this heat. Rainbow and Wolfer with that early lead. Sakura lagging behind already. Acidity trying to catch up as well. Neck and neck between those three, but Sakura still not making up anything. Rainbow gets hung up, and it looks like Acidity and Wolfer will move on. Acidity though, yeah, they started to pull ahead after the last few wheels, and Wolfer was in a secure enough position to take the transfer spot. Heat number 3, Clear Blue, Orangey, Minty, and Magma. And the gates are open. The wheel with Magma and Orangey taking that first wheel, but Magma immediately falls behind. Orangey and Clear Blue now in the front. Minty trying to catch up and takes it from Orangey. And that's another top half finish guaranteed for Minty, who is already dominating so much in these events. Magma really just lagged behind, did not have any pace whatsoever. Did not manage to nail any of those landings. Final heat now, Rose Red, Jade Dweller, Crimson Light, and Icicle. And we are off with Icicle. Ooh, first to leave, but last to enter. And it seems like they still they are still in the top 2, but it's very fast paced here. They do manage to maintain that, and I think it was Crimson Light who does advance alongside them. Jade Dweller and Rose Red kept in the back, but were able to get at least pretty close to finishing near them. It does see here Orangey takes 9th place with a 7, Rainbow dead last, Sakura in 15th, and a few others. Minty, Clear Blue, Icicle, and Wolfer for the first semi-final. A pretty delayed start, a very long wait, and we're immediately off. Wolfer, Clear Blue, and Minty neck and neck. Icicle already falling behind, but Minty and Clear Blue battling for the transfer spot. But who got second there? Minty does get first, but between Clear Blue and Wolfer, that was very close. It was indeed Wolfer who was able to snatch that from Clear Blue after getting hung up there in that last wheel. The second semi-final, Crimson Light, Acidity, Rustic Copper, and Soundwave. Coming to the first wheel, it's Acidity and Crimson Light, Rustic Copper, and Soundwave. But it's still anybody's game. Acidity seems to have fallen behind, so does Crimson Light. Soundwave and Rustic Copper managed to secure a decent finish, and they will both move on to the finals. Yeah, that's more than maybe a 2-second gap. Almost 2-second gap at least. Looks like Clear Blue gets 5th place. Icicle and Acidity are in 7th and 8th. Crimson Light gets 10 points in 6th. Now for the final. Wolfer, Soundwave, Minty, and Rustic Copper. Will Minty get another medal? We'll see here. And we are off. Looks like Rustic Copper in the lead, followed by Wolfer. And now it's them between neck and neck. Soundwave is in 3rd, Minty lagging behind. Will Soundwave make a move? No, and Wolfer stays in 1st. Rustic Copper will get silver, and Soundwave with that bronze. Minty far off the pace, but a 4th place is really very much enough to extend that lead that they already have with a good margin. Wolfer was definitely ahead of Rustic Copper there, as you can see, and it was a pretty flawless run for them. A very commendable run, as we see here in Wheel Descent. And Wolfer will take on the podium, followed by Rustic Copper and Soundwave. Minty gets 12 points still, but still double-digit finish. Something you should really not sleep on. And take you, as we saw from the A-League with, Classic Blue. Welfare, Rustic Copper, and Soundwave finally in the podium ceremony for this event. And 2 events will remain. Jade Dweller, Clear Blue, Crimson Light, Rainbow, and Icicle are in the back 5, but it's still anyone's game. As you can see, that's a really tight bottom 5. They're still able to reach a lot of those others in the mid pack. Meanwhile, Acidity has a 17-point lead. And we'll see what will happen in the final 2 events in the next part to see who will get relegated to the C League and to see who will get advanced to the A League.